dramatic threat to Iran, publicly declaring on Monday evening that from now on, any shot taken by the Houthis in Yemen against ships sailing in international waters will be considered as having been fired by Iran itself. The White House spokeswoman followed this up by declaring that there's a new sheriff in town. Iran would do well to take Trump seriously. We have a lot to talk about today, so let's dive into the details. I'm Yair Pinto, and this is your Boots on the Ground report about what is happening in Israel on day 529 of the war against Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis in Yemen, the Shiite militias in Iraq, and all the other armed groups in this region who are operating under the directives of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, which is the head of the axis of evil in the Middle East. And a moment before we begin, I want to invite you to click the subscribe button so that you remain tuned to the truth in real time and never miss an episode of Boots on the Ground. After a 57-day ceasefire, the IDF launched an attack on Hamas in Gaza in the early morning hours of Tuesday, and dozens of jets from the Air Force carried out a massive wave of strikes targeting dozens of sites in Rafah, Khan Yunis, Gaza City, and the northern part of the Gaza Strip. The aircrafts operated simultaneously, hitting dozens of terrorist homes, headquarters, tunnels, warehouses, and bases that Hamas had restored in recent days. The entire Air Force has now been mobilized for offensive operations in Gaza. The new Chief of Staff, Eyal Zamir, is leading the operation alongside the head of the Shin Bet, Ronen Bar, from the Underground Command Center in the Kiryat in Tel Aviv, and naturally, the IDF will not provide further details at this stage to prevent revealing information to the enemy. In fact, the plan was prepared and kept classified within the IDF to ensure an element of surprise and deception. However, the IDF did say that Hamas had been observed preparing to execute new attacks, rearm, and strengthen itself, adding that the attack would continue as long as necessary and could expand beyond aerial operations. It also said that the military is deployed and on high alert across all fronts, both in force deployment along the borders and in air defensive systems. And furthermore, it has been made clear that unlike the previous Chief of Staff's raid strategy, the new combat plan involves advancing forces into the Strip, clearing specific areas while relocating civilians to humanitarian zones and implementing a voluntary immigration assistance program for those who wish to leave the Strip altogether. After securing the area, the IDF is expected to remain rather than withdraw, as